Everyone, this is the convening of the Cottonwood Mayor and City Council of the City of Cottonwood for presentation of proclamations, awards, and introduction of new city employees to be held August 17th, 2021 at 5:30 p.m. Tonight we have a presentation, so without further ado, I know she's got a lot on her mind. We have Dr. Lisa RHINE here, as well as a couple board members, so thanks. And Mr. Jenkins is here as well to represent the college. Thanks for being here.
Thank you, Mayor Alinsky and members of the board and City Manager Ron Corbin. I'm Lisa RHINE. I'm the president of Yavapai College. I do have with me two of my board members. One is our chair of the board, Ms. Deb McCaslin. She's from District 2. And I also have Mr. Paul Chevalier, who is a board member in District 3. And then with me, Vice President for Community Relations and Student Affairs, Mr. Rodney Jenkins. So thank you for this opportunity to update you on what's going on at the college. You may not know this, but the governor wrote an executive order, and it actually will become a law on September 29th. He tagged it onto a budget bill that community colleges and universities that are public in Arizona cannot require masks, vaccines, or testing. So, therefore, we are fully open at the college in the fall. We started on Monday, and it's booming. The lots were full today, and all the classes were full, and things are happening. So we're in kind of a reactive stance in terms of as things happen, we'll have to deal with those as they come up, and have been put in place some safety protocols, but not the big three. We opened the Verde Valley Skilled Trade Center. On the Clarkdale campus, we had our ribbon cutting on Friday, and as of today, 100% of those classes are full. And those are classes in the trades, in the construction trades, electricity, HVAC, and plumbing. We also offered several tuition incentives. We offered one class free for any student in any class. And then we actually offered the Skilled Trade Center courses the first semester free to incentivize enrollment there. We've also added some free first semesters in some of the CTEC courses over in the Prescott campus. And we offered several new academic programs. In addition to electrical, HVAC, and plumbing, we also added a brewing program in the Verde Valley. We're working with that brewery and actually teaching some courses out of there in the morning when they're not open to test to see if we want to expand that program. And we also added bakery and pastry certificate at the Sedona campus. We also have plans for significant expansion of our Regional Economic Development Center. We know that the college is going to play a major role in the upskilling and reskilling of individuals and getting people back to work, particularly in the trades. And so we're going to be expanding our Regional Economic Development Center, which is housed in Prescott Valley on that campus on Glassford Road, but we also have a presence here in the Verde Valley. We also plan to expand our open educational resources. These are materials that faculty can choose to create their course textbook free. They use a Creative Commons license and identify materials to teach their course that allows us to offer those courses textbook free. As you might know, textbooks are a major cost for students. We added additional sections, OER sections, for both fall and spring, and in that short period of time, we saved students over $300,000 in textbook costs in 2 semesters. We're working to become a college that is 50% textbook free. I did say to the college, could we go 100? Let's just do it 100%. They were a little hesitant about that, so we're aiming for 50% at this point. You may also have heard that the governor passed legislation that will allow the community colleges to offer 4-year degrees. Our board is very excited about that opportunity and has given the college the go-ahead to begin the exploratory phase. So we're going to be working over the fall semester to get data in terms of what programs we might be able to offer, what's the economic need for a program. We're also going to be coming to you and asking you what you would like to see. So look for a community survey that will be coming out what kind of degree programs do you think we need to have here at the community college? We also need to do a cost analysis, and that needs to go to our Higher Learning Commission for approval. So we're looking at probably spring of '23 or fall of '23 before we'd be able to roll out a bachelor's degree, but we're on it, and we're planning to do that. And all of this with no tax increase and no tuition increases. We felt very strongly with COVID that people were in all kinds of different situations, and it just wouldn't be right to ask for a tax increase or a tuition increase. So we reallocated over $2 million internally to move forward with our plans. And we didn't sit back just because it was COVID. We didn't take the victim status or say poor us. What we did is we launched a series of planning sessions, and it was time for a new strategic plan. We put that together. It included a number of other plans that needed to feed into this overarching strategic plan. So it included our academic master plan, our student affairs retention plan, our marketing and recruitment plan, and our fundraising and development plan with our foundation. Those are all new plans that never existed at the college before. We were like, we need to get these in place, and they need to align with our new strategic plan. We also updated our human resources plan, our technology plan, and we're going to be embarking upon a college-wide master plan. That's about all of our facilities and all of the use of our buildings and where we need to grow. That is usually a 10-year plan. We think that that's kind of difficult in these days, so it might be more of a 5-year plan because things change so rapidly. But the community will also be involved in that in terms of where we need to grow and what programs we need to add and what we need to do with our infrastructure. All of those things align together with our strategic plan to provide us focus, purpose, and our priorities so that we can stay keenly focused on what we need to do. And there's 4 things in the strategic plan that anchor us. The first one is called belonging. And it's this idea that the research tells us that students are going to face adversity in college. They just are. College is supposed to be challenging. They're supposed to be learning new things, developing new relationships, growing, learning. And if students have a sense of belonging at a place and they encounter that adversity, they tend to use support services more, they tend to connect with people, and they tend to be retained. So we believe that it's not just providing access to the college, but also this sense of belonging for students that ensures their success. A living wage. This is something very important to us. We have been adopting a term that the United Way put out there. The acronym is ALICE, Asset Limited Income Constrained Employed. These are individuals that are working 1 job, 2 jobs, even 3 jobs, just to make ends meet. They're like one disaster away from like financial failure. And so they're working really, really hard. They're just barely making it. This group called ALICE in Arizona makes up 39% of the individuals. And in the county, that's 43% that are ALICE. So we're hoping to get those individuals back to school, get them reskilled or upskilled, and get them a better job so they can work 1 job and make a living wage. 1 in 4 in this county live in poverty, and 49% of the county high schools or students are on free or reduced lunch. 49%. That was alarming to me. The other is adult learners. We have a large population in the state of Arizona that has some college and no degree or certificate. They might have taken a class here or there, but the number is staggering. 589,661 people in Arizona have some college but no degree. In the county, that is 65,000. So we just see this as a great opportunity to get to those individuals. We know who they are and where they are, and we are targeted marketing to them and trying to get them to come back to finish what they started. We also are targeting and trying to become a Hispanic serving institution. We have to have 25% of our population to do so. When I started at the college 2.5 years ago, we were about 14%, and today we're up in the 22 22%. So we've been working really hard. We hired a Hispanic liaison to work with the worship houses and to work with the businesses and to really get to understand the needs of the community. The age of individuals 25 to 64, 58.5% of them in this county have no college, have never been to college. That's 34.4 for whites. So we see this gap and this opportunity to raise the whole county up and provide opportunity for individuals. And lastly, we're working on delivery, and that's redefining the time and place and how we do what we do. So we're looking at 8-week courses instead of 16 weeks long. Can we have shorter term courses? Student can take 2 8-week courses and 2 8-week courses and get a full load, but not have to have 4 classes at a time. We're also looking at more online delivery, more quality online delivery, and the possibility of multiple start dates, so that you could come anytime and start a class instead of having to follow what is a pretty traditional but rigid academic schedule. So those are the 4 anchors: belonging, living wage, adult learners, and delivery. It's going to focus our work over the next 3 years, and we're excited to get going on it, and I can't wait to see what happens. And that's all I have. I would like to take some questions from you, but I want to ask my board members if they'd like to make any comments. Yeah?
Thank you so much for letting us come and speak with you tonight. I represent District 2, which is the entire eastern part of Yavapai County. So it's from Black Canyon City up to Rimrock and in, and including part of Prescott Valley and Cornville, and so you know the general area. So I'm on both sides of the mountain, and we are really working on serving the educational needs throughout our county. And fortunately, we are putting a lot of emphasis here in the Verde Valley, which was greatly needed. And I'm really enjoying working with Dr. RHINE and helping expand our educational opportunities, gather information, and thank you for your cooperation and support of the college.
Thank you very much. Yeah.
Do you have any additional questions or comments for me?
Do you have some questions? Please go ahead.
I wanted to start with a thank you, though. I was not able to attend the ribbon cutting for the Skilled Trade Center, but it's very exciting and something that I'm just really happy to see here. So thank you very much to you and to your board for moving that forward. Thank you. I did have a question. I've heard that certain students in certain departments were notified last night that they must be fully vaccinated or they cannot continue in their program. Can you respond to this, especially in the nursing department, where here in Cottonwood we do have a significant need for nurses and healthcare providers here in the Verde? So is this statement that I've heard from some of my constituents true, first of all, and then if so, is there an opt-out provision or other mechanism for these students to be able to move forward in their programs?
Okay. Well, that's a great question. I am not aware of that. What I can tell you is that we have not required that of our nursing students. What may be the case is that there are some clinical sites at the hospitals that may be requiring that. We did send out a notification to our students in the nursing program telling them that there's that possibility, that it wouldn't be a college requirement, but it may be necessary if they're in one of the hospitals that does require that. So that may be what you're hearing. Are you aware of? That's exact. Okay. He's confirming that that is the case, but if that is the case, I imagine that we'll work to find other options for those students. The challenge there is that there are a limited number of clinical sites in the county. That's what drives the number of students that we can take into our program, because you may know that we have a big waiting list for nursing, and we only take a certain number because the clinical sites are limited. So I'm not sure if that's going to play out for those students that are in locations where vaccines required and they don't have it. But we will help them through that process as best we can.
And I appreciate that statement. Who would be the best person for these students to follow up with on campus with regard to this concern?
That would be Mary Lou McCardo, and she's the Director of Nursing.
All right, thank you.
Dr. Ryan, I had a question about, first, I'm excited to hear that we'll be allowed to offer some four-year degrees
Yeah.
at the college. That's really exciting. Do you see the need to invest any more in buildings or anything on campus to accommodate that, or do you think that the existing campus as it stands now would be enough to accommodate some four-year degrees?
I think the campuses that we have now are sufficient. Our room utilization isn't what it used to be, and the online and hybrids are increasing. We're also having a number of individuals request to work remotely because we figured out how to do that out of necessity during COVID. So we don't see a need for additional infrastructure to be able to do that.
Okay, great.
Additional faculty, certainly,
Right.
but not necessarily additional buildings.
All right.
But
great.
we'll see.
Okay,
Renovation, probably for sure.
okay. Any other questions for Dr. Ryan or any of the board members? No. Just want to say, and Mr. Corbin will back me up on this, when you came to town, you promised that you would listen,
Yeah.
and you did. And then upon listening, you promised you would deliver a skilled trades center, and you did. And for that, we're very, very grateful. And Ms. McCaslin and Mr. Chevalier, thank you both for your service on the board and for representing us here. It's very, very helpful.
Yeah.
Yes, go ahead.
Can you explain or come up with any hindrance in what your goals are, which are massive, that we could help with, the city of Cottonwood and staff and council, or anything that we could help with?
Well, certainly with helping us figure out which four-year degrees might be on the horizon. The master plan, if you have thoughts about that in terms of the campus master plan and the infrastructure for the facilities on this side of the mountain in the Verde Valley and Sedona. Any other ideas on that?
I think with the support of the mayor and the city manager thus far, they've really helped us with expanding our regional economic development center
That's true.
and other programs. So that kind of support has been invaluable.
Yes.
Thank you.
And I just want to say thank you to the mayor and to the city manager, because literally I think I was in Prescott 3 days and I got a call and had a meeting set up and met them both. And we just talked about the needs of the Verde Valley and of Cottonwood. And yeah, so just the fact that they embraced me and have supported me since I sat in the seat has meant a lot to me personally. And you know, it's all good for us. I mean, the partnership is there and it'll continue to be there. So thank you.
Thank you. All right. Up next, then, we have awards. We have Employee of the Second Quarter of 2021. And who is going to introduce this? Ms. Salas, thank you.
Mayor, Vice Mayor, council members, I'm here to present Employee of the Second Quarter for 2021, Ms. LORENDA YOKE. LORENDA has been an exceptional employee throughout her career with the city, but during the last quarter, she was really put to the test, and she more than lived up to the challenge. In 2020, LORENDA's job title was slightly changed when she was transferred to City Hall and asked to take on some additional job duties while still managing the facility rentals, which alone is a full-time job. With little to almost no direction, she was also asked to take on some of the duties associated with the airport, which she has done admirably. She was also asked to help out at City Hall with answering phones and assisting the public when needed, and throughout these changes, she always maintained a positive can-do attitude. As you know, at the beginning of the year, I had some back issues, so I had to be out constantly out of the office. Without anyone asking her, LORENDA took the initiative and stepped up to the plate to help myself and Mr. Corbin, the city manager, by taking on some of the tasks that absolutely needed to be done. Her willingness and motivation were a tremendous help to both the city manager and myself. The impact of LORENDA's motivation and attitude towards not only her work, but to the daily tasks that needed to be completed at City Hall are a tremendous benefit to the city. Things such as payroll, management reports, scheduling would ultimately have fallen through the cracks if it were not for LORENDA's motivation and drive. She definitely exemplifies the city standards of how employees should carry themselves inside and out of the organization. So therefore, I present Ms. Lorenda.
For those who know me, for me to be at a loss for words is practically impossible. Thank you for such praise. I know I probably speak for a large percentage of the city employees where we are who we are, we do what we do, not for accolades, not for acknowledgments, but that's just who we are inside. So to have this was a total surprise for me. Thank you, but thank you, everyone, and Sandra, of course.
It was not a surprise for anyone that works with you, so thank you for your service. Yeah. All right, let's, Council, if you don't mind, let's go up front and present her with her award and take some photos.
Right inside, please. Thank you very much, everyone.
I feel like some job descriptions should start off with other duties as described first, right?
Yeah, I didn't want to make her bashful or anything, but Lorenda really has stepped up. So when we reorganized things early during the pandemic, she was one of the folks that got new duties, and those new duties continue to increase, it seems like. She is in full mode with reservations. Our clubhouse is being rented like crazy. Our fields, our ramadas, our centers it's all happening. She continues to do that job. She continues to man the desk with the help of Matt from the clerk's office and Tommy in HR, and helping Jack get those programs going over there. And she helps our airport manager significantly. She has a wide swath of responsibilities. And the one thing I was surprised Sandra left off that to-do list while she was out was to keep her on point in the right direction. And she did a pretty good job at that.
All right. Thank you. Well, that's it for the pre-meeting. We're going to be back in 5 minutes, so don't go anywhere.